the people she helps, and she helps plenty of them, oh dear, are going to gift her things. Okay, so she she is gifted artifacts. Netflix says they are bridging the gap between the rebooted Tomb Raider and the 90s Tomb Raider. 90s that we all know and love. However, what they really mean, I know, too good to be true. What they really mean is they are rewriting and erasing Lara Croft's past in making her now into a protector of artifacts instead of the rebellious grave robber Tomb Raider that we have always known her to be. So we've got a new scoop on this with an article. So let's go ahead and dive in and read everything this says. So it says, out from the shadows, as we can see here, and she's got her bow, she's got her Shadow of the Tomb Raider outfit here. This isn't really bad. This drawing isn't, I mean, granted, it's definitely reboot Lara. This isn't actual classic Lara Croft at any capacity. But here's my opinion on this. I would just rather them continue their own fake Lara Croft, their own reboot Lara Croft, than try to ruin classic Lara Croft by saying, oh, this is this unified version now, because it's not. Give us classic Lara Croft or don't. Thankfully, we have the remasters, because those are fantastic. But otherwise, this mainline stuff, it isn't Lara Croft, and you can't force her to be Lara Croft if you're continuing the reboot stuff. You can't unify those Lara Crofts because they're so entirely different in every way. But anyway, let's continue. Tomb Raider, The Legend of Lara Croft showrunner Tasha Ho, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Tasha Ho reveals how Netflix original series bridges the gap between eras of the classic games, aka rewrites, but let's continue. For nearly 30 years, one of the biggest icons in video games has been Lara Croft, the unflappily cool protagonist of the Tomb Raider franchise. As development on the video game series continues into the current generation, Netflix has adapted Tomb Raider into its star-studded new original animated series. Hold on, I've got like background music right now and it's distracting me. Okay. And it has adapted to its star-studded new original animated series, Tomb Raider: The Legend of Lara Croft, developed by Tasha Ho. The series is set after the events of 2018's Shadow of the Tomb Raider as Lara. Haley Atwell voicing Lara, I think, was a good idea. However, what we've heard from her just sounds like Haley trying to sound like Camilla Luddington. In that case, why even? I don't know. We'll see. We only heard a little bit. Scrambles around the globe to stop the villainous Devereaux, Richard Armitage, from using an ancient relic that could plunge the world into complete chaos. Isn't this Devereaux guy? That sounds so familiar. Wasn't that from the leaks? That guys, oh man, somebody remind me from one of my videos about the leaks, but that sounds like somebody from the leaks. And don't even get me started on all those leaks with lesbian Lara Croft and all that. Oh, it's so cringe. Yeah, you can watch my videos from that. Okay, that could plunge the world into complete chaos. Okay. In an exclusive, now if she gets help from her Indian friends because she is not knowledgeable enough on the lore. She, Lara Croft, who knows multiple languages and is not even an archaeologist more so, but a Tomb Raider who is super versed in all this stuff. But no, not anymore. She doesn't understand enough. She needs help. I don't know the extent of it on the Netflix thing anyway. All right, in an exclusive interview, Tomb Raider: The Legend of Lara Croft showrunner and executive producer Tasha Ho talks about bringing the beloved video game franchise to life on Netflix, explains the creative possibilities of connecting Shadow of the Tomb Raider with the classic games from the 90s through the show, and teases what fans can expect when The Legend of Lara Croft premieres this October. Again, you can't bridge them, but whatever. Den of Geek says the legend of Lara Croft takes place after Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which is a very rich creative ground. How was it having that trilogy of games as your narrative foundation? Tasha says it's really fun because even though we want to remain very faithful to what Crystal Dynamics is planning and what to look forward to in the games, it is really this cool in-between time where we kind of get to do, in some ways, whatever we want, because we're dealing with the baseline of who she was in Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which was this young woman just surviving and trying to get by. She is full of grief and does something so horrible as to usher in the apocalypse. We get to move her from that vulnerable place to the fun Lara Croft we remember from the very early games and the movies with Angelina Jolie. Okay, so far sounds better, right? Well, let's continue. It's this great transitional phase for Lara, which is perfect for a TV show where you get to explore her emotions and inner psyche. We're this really fun bridge where not only do we have a lot to play with, but we also get to show how she evolves into the person that we remember. How many times have we heard over the past 11 years, she's going to become the Tomb Raider? This is her origin story. She will become the Tomb Raider. Well, it's been 11 years now. Okay. Why isn't she the Tomb Raider yet? Lara isn't an island herself. You've brought in a supporting cast to help her, including familiar faces from the games, which is so cringe. Lara works alone. I never did like how they added the comrades and all that crap. It goes against her character. And, oh, but this is younger. This is her origin story. No, she was always a loner. Read her old bios, guys. It's great because as a TV show, you can't just have someone on an island. Those characters became really great foils for Lara, people who she can bounce her issues off of. They can be the voice of the audience saying, dude, she didn't have to have all these comrades in the other games. Just say it. Hey, Lara, snap out of it. Are you really going to do that crazy thing right now? Is that the best way to handle your problems? See, why? Why does she need people to reason with her? Lara Croft was rambunctious and crazy. She did crazy stuff and got herself into a lot of trouble because she's an act first, think later type character, which Crystal Dynamics try to change her into not that. But that's how she is. She is run and gun. Okay. They also allow us to bring in some humor and comedy as a foil against Lara's even flatness as she evolves into that person who is also funny. Yeah, let's just say she definitely was very flat in the reboot games in more ways than one. No. She actually wasn't completely. I know some people say she was flattened in Shadow of the Tomb Raider, but no, personality-wise, yeah, definitely a lot more flat. Granted, they gave her more personality in Shadow, but she wasn't Lara Croft. They gave her a different personality. That's that. Yeah, so Lara's supposed to be witty, supposed to be sarcastic and all this, which we didn't really see that. We saw more sarcasm in the first reboot game, but a little more edge and like almost mean sarcasm that we saw a little bit in the first reboot game. But then in Rise of the Tomb Raider, that went out the window for the most part. She just turned into this really moody, overly emotional character. And yeah, we saw some of that in Shadow as well. And that wasn't Lara Croft. Lara Croft maintained her cool. She did dumb stuff sometimes, like just riding the quad bike into Area 51 over that gate and fell off and knocked herself out. But in terms of emotions, she was regulated. She didn't have these, granted in Legend, once Crystal Dynamics got a hold of things, they made her a lot more emotional, even with Legend, Anniversary, and Underworld, because, but yeah, classic Lara Croft was not that way. So anyway, she's so funny in the early games, but we have to build her to that. They allow for the comedy as she's moving into that person. I mean, funny. She was sassy, and especially in Tomb Raider Chronicles, and sarcastic, but it depends on what you mean by funny. And knowing Netflix and woke writers' humor, I don't anticipate that funny. More than just being set on a single island or remote mountain temple, The Legend of Lara Croft has a global scope. How was it building the world and its locations around the story? For me and the writers, it was all about the history driving the locations. Sometimes you want to take Lara someplace just because you really want to be in that place, but really, you need a reason, because the audience is going to find out you put them there because you just wanted them to be there. The history was driving us. And the deeper we dove, the more we'd find a thread in this country, or that one that could be a cool set piece if we moved Lara there and it worked within the mythology that we're dealing with. We always want to ground it in something real. So while the show doesn't pull its punches, it's also not as graphically violent as the 2013 Tomb Raider reboot game. How did you want to strike a balance with the violence and tone of the series? We wanted the show to be for everyone. Oh, famous last words. That's the thing. You make something for everyone, you get a watered down experience. I definitely wrote it with adults in mind as my primary audience, but absolutely you can bring your whole family into this and experience Lara Croft. I don't want to distance anyone, but we are also this bridge into a more fun version of Lara that guided the tone as well. I'm so sick of hearing the word bridge. That's all I know, but also into this more fun, family-friendly. I mean, Tomb Raider wasn't family-friendly in its origins. It was like a horror game. It was scary. Granted, it had the T rating because back then, graphically, it didn't appear as violent as it was, which I'm fine with a more T rating, but we want this for everyone, the whole family? Then that's not Tomb Raider, because Lara Croft she can be a savage. The show was animated by Powerhouse Animation Studios, which also did the acclaimed Castlevania series. How was it working with them to create a vision of Tomb Raider that was instantly recognizable, yet with your own signature visual stamp? They're fantastic. A big reason it was so exciting to work with them is because most of their team working on this show are women. Of course. Oh yeah, this was great because we have a whole, okay, this is gonna be trash. Specifically women who really loved Tomb Raider. Hey, if they actually loved Tomb Raider, that would be great, but I don't know, something's telling me this is a bunch of blue-haired, fat, woke women. Okay, they're women who were moved by it growing up as little girls. And it was so cool to see their excitement being translated into the artwork. Why is it just, why can't it just be, Tomb Raider fans, we're excited because we have Tomb Raider fans on the team. But no, it has to be, because it's women, because they're women. Okay. So that explains why Lara Croft is definitely giving lesbian butch vibes in this anime. Okay. And I'm telling you, I still would put money on it. They're going to throw some lesbian thing in it. I would bet money on it. Okay. They'll try. They'll sneak something in there. Knowing it's Netflix and the direction of everything. Yeah, and the leaks that we saw where they're trying to turn Lara into a lesbian anyway. I know the current climate and things like that, and how, look what happened with Bud Light, look what everything going on with the Olympics, with that opening blasphemous ceremony with drag queens, how people are getting sick of it. People are so, and even an article came out, which I showed a screenshot of it on my Last Go Boom Live, where people are avoiding LGBTQ characters. They're avoiding the queer characters in video games. People don't want these queer characters. We're sick of it. We're sick of seeing all this stuff shoved in our faces. So yeah, so maybe something like that will keep them from it, but who knows? They've been trying. They have been trying to push more of this stuff into Tomb Raider. I never had to explain Lara's physicality or her unique penchant for randomly flipping to get to places. These were all things that they inherently knew. Dude, everybody knows this because everybody knows Lara Croft as the 90s Lara Croft. globally, people aren't remembering Lara Croft as the reboot Lara Croft. When you say Lara Croft, most people think 90s Lara Croft. And as fans, they were plugging in really fun things in some of the action and animation that was in the script. You'd get back and be like, heck yeah, you clearly played Tomb Raider Legend and knew that one moment. We could all nerd out about this and what it should be. We were always aiming to have a show that fans would absolutely geek out over, which is what we were doing, but also be accessible to everyone else. It's a fine balance, but it's super cool how big fans they were. Okay. Also, she mentions Legend. That's not real Tomb Raider. It's not. I know I get backlash from this. The Legend trilogy, Legend Anniversary and Underworld, they're definitely a lot closer in aesthetic, but they are very watered down. They are the preschool, play school versions of Tomb Raider. Okay? Just play the remasters. That's where it's at. I mean, those are still fun, but again, it's like if you want to turn your brain off and just look at some cool art and Lara Croft looking good, okay, sure. But if you actually want a Tomb Raider experience, play the remasters. What are your own earliest memories of Lara Croft and Tomb Raider? My earliest memories are being terrified and having nightmares of T-Rexes, velociraptors, and sharks. I feel like some of my fear of dark water definitely comes from Lara Croft. Legend is definitely my favorite game. And it's funny because, of course it is. It's the easiest one. It's probably the only one she could beat. Granted, anybody, a toddler, could beat Tomb Raider Legend. And it's funny because playing it recently to get back into the flow, I was like, holy crap, this game is hard. That's so funny. No, it's not. Tomb Raider Legend? That's the easiest game in the entire series. Dude, even if you play on hard mode, you can breeze through it. And you know she was. Play the remasters if you actually want a challenge, and an actual challenge with puzzles and exploration and locating keys and things like that. None of this, oh, it's only difficult because of the combat. Like, that isn't what Tomb Raider is supposed to be, but I digress. How did we do this as kids? Oh my. Oh, this is so cringe. Wow, you really think Legend was hard? Wow. Have you ever played a video game in your life? Shadow of the Tomb Raider and the 2013 game are probably my second and third favorite games because of course. You don't know actual Tomb Raider. You don't know actual Lara Croft. Yeah. Goodness. Okay. How did you want the season's main villain, Devereaux, to be someone to challenge Lara both physically and thematically? I wanted someone who was dealing with the same things that Lara was dealing with, but chose a darker path. For me, anime does this really well when the hero and the villain are the same person. Just that the villain tends to make the wrong choices, aka the villain is going to be more like actual Lara Croft than Lara Croft will be in this. Lara is heading down a darker path in season 1, but when she sees a reflection of herself in Devereaux, she realizes that she can't take that same path. She doesn't want to become that other person. So, aka, she doesn't want to be the actual Tomb Raider that she was before. This is her opportunity to change and be Miss Goody Two-Shoes, who is a restorer of artifacts and a seeker of truth who just likes to give artifacts to their rightful owners. It was really important to have someone who could be a mirror to her and make her realize that she needed to choose the better path. This is just keywords for Lara Croft in the classic games, which she doesn't ever mention. She wants to pretend like she cares about the classic games, but she doesn't mention them. And so this is keyword for we don't want her to take that dark, terrible path she took in the 90s. No, we want her to be better than that, more virtuous than that. Tomb Raider is approaching its 30th anniversary. What do you think it is about Tomb Raider and Lara Croft that stays relevant and stands the test of time? I feel like it's different for everybody. You ask somebody and it's almost always something different that they hang on to about Lara. Yeah, because they changed her so freaking much. For me personally, there's something so aspirational and wish fulfilling about seeing this woman do all the things that she does. Yeah, that's how things are supposed to be, but then they nerf her. She's so incredibly capable. Exactly. That's how it's supposed to be. That's the thing that in the 90s we admired about Lara Croft. Here's this beautiful, you aspire to be like as beautiful as her as a woman. Like, oh my goodness, she is just so beautiful. And she kicks butt. And she is going on these insane adventures. She's a rebel. She does what she wants. It's amazing. She can be in any environment, put on that black dress and urban climb, or be in the middle of nowhere and know exactly what to do. There is something so freaking cool about her. When you get into the Survivor series, 2013's Tomb Raider and its sequels, Rise and Shadow, you can finally relate to her. This is what doesn't make sense. You just said Lara Croft is so cool because of how she's next level. And so then it's like, oh wait, let's take all that away and let's make it to where she's just a regular person now. No, thank you. I don't want to relate to her. I want to daydream that I can be as cool as her. You know, I'm aware that would never happen. She wasn't just this superhero. No, she wasn't a superhero at all. She was more of an anti-hero. But yeah, I digress. Well, in the reboot stuff, they tried to make her into a hero. Even in Legend, that's when they started trying to make her into a hero. When that wasn't, Lara Croft was not created to be a hero. She was fueled by selfish ambition. Let's be real. She was a grave robber fueled by selfish ambition. Sometimes she happened to do the right thing because it was in her best interest. But come on, Lara Croft wasn't some superhero. She was kind of like us, except she got up no matter what happened. That aspirational feeling is there because you wish you could be as brave and as cool as she is. She's just so effing cool. I think that's another reason why she stands the test of time. She's just cool. Oh my gosh. Reboot Lara is not. She's forgettable. She's whiny constantly. We've seen Angelina Jolie, Alicia Vikander, and Camilla Luddington put their own spins on Lara Croft. What do you think Hayley Atwell uniquely brings to Lara with her performance in this show? I think Hayley is the perfect person for the bridge that we're talking about. It's funny because when you talk to her, Hayley has done all the things that Lara Croft has done, really. Okay, she started apocalypses. Interesting. She's like, I jumped out of a plane just last week. I know what this sounds like. Well, that's pretty rad. She has that adventurous spirit in herself, but she brings not only the playfulness that is really great for Lara Croft at this stage, but also this dramatic, nuanced turn. I do think Hayley Atwell is great for Lara Croft, not gonna lie. I think she's great for her, but I don't think that this Netflix series is gonna do Lara Croft justice. And I don't think we're gonna get even close to the potential that we could have otherwise. She has that combo of the things that were exactly what we were looking for. She was the perfect person for the bridge section that we're doing. Bridge, 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 bridge. Okay. While Lara certainly is in tombs and raiding them, she's also clearly not pilfering other cultures' treasures. See, this is why they're not mentioning classic Lara Croft, because classic Lara Croft steals from other cultures, and we love that for her. How did you want to maintain that balance between the classic premise and not having her steal from other societies, of course? It's definitely tricky because I never wanted to lose the tomb raiding. That's what makes her awesome. But it also makes me uncomfortable to just tomb raid. Then don't! Then get your butt off this franchise and do something else. Good freaking grief. Oh, I'm so uncomfortable tomb raiding. Then don't! Then give this to somebody who likes it. It's a fine line to walk, but I think the balance that helps us is thinking of her as a hero. No, she's not. Lara Croft is a grave robber who steals. She steals because she's a selfish person. Get it right. a hero who's trying to save the world, then that ain't Lara Croft. That ain't Lara Croft. It's not. That's not this woman. You just created a different character. Freaking, oh, this is a bridge. It's going to bring us to... No, it's not. It's a rewrite. It is an erasure of what happened before. Get freaking real. Get over yourselves. Virtue signaling pieces of... Oh, this makes me so mad. That was apparent in the movies and in all of the games. No, it wasn't! In all of the games. Are you serious? Freaking liar! Liar! In all of... No, it wasn't. Lara Croft played for sport. She wasn't trying to be a hero. Even in the Angelina Jolie movies, if you actually watch them, you will see she didn't give a crap about just trying to be a hero. They had to get her motivated by her own interests. And if it collided, great. Then she'll save the world. But she wasn't trying to be a hero. Come on. Oh, this makes me so mad when they give stuff to people who just want to erase and change and then try to say, oh yeah, this is how it always was. No, it wasn't. Good freaking grief. There is a villain who is trying to take a relic and destroy the world with it, and Lara has to protect it. If that becomes your foundation, you understand that Lara is justified in being whoever she is. That's the thing, though, is yeah, Lara was after these artifacts that villains use to try to destroy the world with, but she wanted the artifacts. That's what it was. She wanted them, and then when she takes them, she keeps them in her mansion and her collection. She doesn't return them to their rightful owners. It also became important that the relics that she starts to fill her home with and takes back with her are very important, okay? Keepsakes from her travels are important. So how do you do that without her stealing them? Okay, the people she helps, and she helps plenty of them, oh dear, are going to gift her things. Okay, so she she is gifted artifacts now, guys. Lara Croft is gifted artifacts. She doesn't take them. She's not a Tomb Raider anymore. She's a gift receiver. Gift receiver. Okay, it becomes this metaphor for all the relationships that she makes around the world as she fills her office and space with these items. This is so retarded. This is not Tomb Raider. It's not. It's not at all. Lara Croft wasn't out making friends and being a hero and being gifted artifacts. Lara Croft was playing for sport and her own selfish ambition and unaliving of tribal people and stealing their stuff. Okay? Let's be real. It's fun to play a game where you play as this rambunctious, crazy, over-the-top character who does whatever the heck they want. Why that's demonized is beyond me. It's not real life, okay? We don't need some hero simulator in Tomb Raider. It was never supposed to be that. What are you the most proud of getting to add to the continuing legacy of Tomb Raider? In terms of the show, I'm really proud we captured the essence of what made me such a fan of Tomb Raider. I'm proud to be able to explore that middle section and understand why she was the person that I loved in the original Tomb Raider game. That's so fun. You don't even know a crapping thing about the original Tomb Raider game. All you know is Legend Onward. Sit down. Oh, this is gonna be awful. Oh my gosh. I'm just sick to my stomach over this. I am so freaking frustrated with what they're doing. And then we finally get remasters. I'm thinking, okay, now the masses can see who Lara Croft really is. And they're still trying to rewrite and change her. This is just where we're at. I hope this tanks. I hope it just bombs. Because this sounds terrible. This is just so disrespectful to Lara Croft and Tomb Raider. Actual Tomb Raider. The disrespect, dude. Oh, but that's how she always was. Why is it always with the gaslighting with these woke people? No, but things were always like this. No! No, they weren't! Anyway, there you have it for this stupidity. This just makes me want to play the remasters and the classic stuff more. This is going to be a trash fire, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. And if you want me to read the Bible to you, you can check out my Bible channel, Bible Time with Melanie Mack. Thanks again for watching. I'll catch you next time. And in the meantime, go boom.